you'll notice that the back of the Galleon here has the lighter panel just to show you where to go. Now our lift mechanism is going to fit onto here and then just help with the back deck of the boat. So what I would suggest at this stage is we just feed the mast through. You can see there's lots of room for that to slip in, and that's then ready to just push down in a mow, because what I'd like to do is glue these two strips. So we're going to stick those down one at a time into the Galleon there. But while it's out, as it were, I'm going to just do both of them, and then this will just feed through. So the next thing to do is just feed that through into the back of the bottom of the boat there. That just lines up to there, and it just simply sits on there. Now at this stage I'm resting it on the middle, and in true style, if I just push it down, that should help those glue tabs stick either side, and that's just now lifting up. And what we've got now is, as you can see there, a rest or a support for the back of the boat. But you could put a little bit of wet glue on there here. It just makes life a bit easier. It's hard to get to things there. I've put two little dobs either side here, but it's very much an approximation. So to make life a little bit easier, I would recommend that you use the wet glue. Now you can see what I'm trying to do is just get everything to stick down and line up, and I'll probably do it as I am. You can see here in two halves like we've done the other one. So that's, get the boat part sitting there and just tease that one down into there. That tab is putting up a little bit of a fight, but that's okay. Lift that one up there like so, and just get it visually right. Can you see now with the deck, I'm just sort of getting it more or less in position, and there we go. As I open up comes the back section. Hooray, up she rises, as they say. Got the masts and the sails here, so cut those out. These tabs are here. We can pre-glue them in position by the marking with the deck if you want to, but I'm just showing you an easier way to begin with. But if you make more than one, I'd suggest that you pre-glue the mast down at the bottom. But for ease of use at the start, we're going to do it this way. So you've cut out these bits. Now we're just coming on to that. We've got the boat together. The sails, just a quick note here, because I've pre-cut mine out. They come in two parts, the back of the sails and these extra 3 pieces of wood. You'll see what they're for a little bit later on. And we've got the main front of the sails here and our pirate flag. And when you've cut them out, they're going to look something like this. You can see what I've done is, the reason there's a back and a front is it just puts the two together like so. So we've got our mainsail in the middle, our one in the front, and you'll notice at the back that it doesn't go all the way. There's a little bit of white space. This is our fold and attachment to the boats at this particular point. And then we've got our back sail there as well. And again, you put the back panel on, but it doesn't totally cover it, as you can see there, but that's fine, that's for a reason. And then the sails look like this. So the next thing to do, let's mount up the mainsail in the centre of the boat and show you how it all works. With the sails, you really would like to just give a wee bit of twist just to put some curve in that, although when it folds flat it won't really affect it. And what we're going to do is just have it attached near the mast, and it's going to stick one part. This is the front one at the front of the boat there with that tab, and another one down here like so. Now I'm going to use wet glue for this, so the front corner on the boat for the front mast and the back corner back here for there. Let me just pop it on its side so you can see. This has to be a very strong bond. So in this instance you'll see that there were two little tabs on the sail here. Just crease and fold those. They'll make sense as you put them down, and on the back of it I'm just going to glue this one here and the same on that one there. So glue that part there and let that stick. Nice and careful, there's a lot of glue on here. And then the same again just on the back part there. I'm just going to glue this section, if I can just turn it over, just show you, onto the boat there. And it's going to be tricky. You're going to have to sit and wait for that to dry. I'll sit here now and hold on to this, Do it one piece at a time, possibly. Do the front and then the back, but those two then will attach themselves to the side of the boat. Got my sails drying here. A couple of important notes to make. Please make the sails out of paper. They need to be nice and light. I've actually done mine out of card, and it's putting a lot of stress on it, especially with two pieces here. So just print them on a good quality paper. I don't know, about 90 or 100, 120 GSM, because once you've got two bits together, it certainly adds to the weight of it. But you can see now that we've got one part attached there and one part attached to the back of the boat here. And the reason for that is because obviously this has to lie flat. So as we open it up, that allows a little bit of twist within the sail. And so it's under quite a bit of pressure there. Now, to keep the mast on, I've got one of these back bits of wood that came on the back panel of the sails, and I'll put a little bit of glue either side here, because what that is going to do, if I can just show you here, is simply act as a guide for the main mast here. So if I put one on there and one on the back there, we can see that the mast is able just to slip in and out between there. If I can just show you now the front of the card, it's now looking something like this, with the masts being able to just move. Now, what you should do is pre-glue the masts in, but I was in it was going to make it very hard to show you how to put the whole boat together if I did that. So I'm going to try and do this one after the event. But what I suggest you do is line up with the if I just pop that through there like so, and hopefully that will just find its way down there. See, it can't stick to the main part of the boat because that slots in and out. So the mast, or rather the deck here, acts as a very good example just to show you where everything is. And I should have actually glued those first and in position and then just built everything up around them. But with a little bit of glue on that now, and if necessary I can actually just come back and just pull out the side and stick that down. But what I suggest you do is do that first. A little bit of wet glue on the sail here, and I've got some on the back there, and we're just going to pull this back, and this is going to just slot in and come about halfway along the boat. So there's room for one at the front here, if that makes sense. If you can just see, that sits in there, and then that one back there. So if you find where the position is roughly, I would strongly suggest just glue each piece one at a time so that you get a nice strong bond. So if I hold that in position now, so I'll go on and glue and let this hold itself in position. When that's done, I'm simply going to put another tab on the back across the sail here. Let me show you like this, and that'll just go across there and hold it into position. I'm going to do exactly the same for the back as well. Now with this front sail, depending on where the deck rises, what I have done, just a little handy hint here, is just prised the sail apart, prised the deck apart just slightly from the side of the ship, and just put, I'm going to say very technically, I stuffed that end down into it to let the glue sit. It gave it a little bit more anchorage, and that's making my sail there a little bit stronger. Now for the back sail, again, I'm just going to glue this into position, wet glue. Probably best to do one at a time just to let it glue, and that's, you can see now that there'll be a natural position. There's no absolute way to hold it, but near the front part of the boat here, you can see just where it curves up, and I'll show you later when this is all dry. You'll be able to get a much better idea. Don't know if you can see that now. That part's attaching there, and when that's dry, I'll get the back part here and just stick it really where it wants to go, which at this point is probably somewhere like so. So if I just hold that carefully, this is a wee bit fiddly, it really is, but it's all worth it in the end. And then that just sits there. Then that dry, and when that's dried, what I'm going to do, if I just tip this over on its side, is just put this stick over again across the mast just to hold that sail in position. Hey, your galleon should now be looking something like this. And what I'd like to do is just, it's been difficult to show you, but just where I've anchored the sails down. So in the middle one, it's just on the part where the
boat just begins to rise there. On the front one here, I just prized open a bit of the deck and stuck that in there, and then the back one's just sitting where it felt comfortable against the back part here. If I can just get you to see where that is, it kind of has a natural flow and order to itself, and just flipping the boat over on its side. Again, I apologise, it's really hard to show you this, but that one stuck onto that one there, the middle one onto this part here, and this one just up here by the anchor there. So if I hold that upright, you should hopefully get some idea of where the sails go. Don't worry too much, that they'll find their own way, you know, it's just so that they sit upright, but there's no hard and fast, but those are good areas to sort of stick them down. What we're trying to do is just get them to remain upright. And here is the finished card, and as you can see as we open it up, it really does look quite spectacular. I've just added a few finishing touches, the pirate flag here, and I've popped in a pirate down there who's hiding down behind the mainsails.